Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna Vajrana Prabhu, you can hear me?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I welcome all the devotees to this orientation program. So before we begin, I would like to introduce His Grace Acharya Ratna Prabhu. Prabhu is the President of Hare Krishna Movement Madhya Pradesh and also Vice President of ISKCON Bangalore. Prabhuji is doing his full-time volunteer service in ISKCON temple from last 20 years, and Prabhu has been heading many wonderful projects and training hundreds of devotees and leading the Bhakti Yatra from HK Madhya Pradesh. So Prabhu has conducted hundreds of yatras, and Prabhu has guided all the yatris to complete their yatra successfully by explaining wonderful stories and pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Mahabharata and Ramayana. So I request all the devotees to hear from Prabhuji about Kailash Manas Sarovara Yatra. And then if you have any questions, you can openly ask Prabhu and get it clarified. So we have planned the yatra wonderfully, and you will be having a very memorable and you'll be cherishing this yatra. Over to you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna, everyone.
So let us start with the prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everybody. And thank you, Mukunda Prabhu. So Mukunda Prabhu is heading yatras of Hyderabad. So both Hyderabad and Indore temples together, we are coming up with this Kailash Manas Sarovar Yatra. So I will just take all of you through the basic plan of the day-wise itinerary. Even before we go into the day-wise itinerary, I wish to inform you about the spiritual significance of this Kailash Manas Sarovar Yatra. This is one unique yatra which finds its common place in different religions, be it Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, or Tibetan culture. So many religions have the common ground in Kailash Manasarovar place, and that's the very special thing which is rarely seen in any other places. So as far as the Hindu understanding, as per the scriptural references, it is mentioned in Skanda Purana that this is the abode of Lord Shiva. So this is where we have seen enough pictures of Lord Shiva sitting on meditation. So it is mentioned that it is at this place that Lord Shiva meditates. So that's the spiritual part as far as the Hindu tradition is concerned. In fact, as per the Tibetan tradition, the Mount Kailash is also referred as Mount Meru, so which also finds its reference in Srimad Bhagavatam. And this mountain is said to be the kind of a connecting link axis between the earth and the heaven. So higher planetary systems, so where the principles change in terms of duration of life, quality, all that. So this abode of Lord Shiva, Mount Kailash, or referred as Mount Meru, is supposedly the axis connecting the two different worlds of two different types of beings. And then as far as the Jainism is concerned, the very first Tirthankara, Rishabhadeva, who is also as per Hindu understanding, is also an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So Rishabhadeva, the very first Tirthankara, has meditated here and he attained salvation at this place. So there is a place called as Ashtapada. So that is the place where Jainism also holds Mount Kailash or Manasarovar as the of very high importance. And then similarly, Buddhist culture also mentions that there are a lot of saints so who meditated here, and so therefore Buddhism also holds a very great importance in Mount Kailash Yatra. In some places, it is also written as Stairway to Heaven for Mount Kailash thing. And so therefore, we have decided or planned an yatra to this particular place. So before I begin, if anybody has any questions, you could park it towards the end so that we can complete your question. Maybe it will be answered during the course of conversation. So now it's 11:15. So maybe in about half an hour or 35 minutes, I should be able to give you an overall briefing of the entire yatra. And towards the end, I will also talk a little about the aerial yatra that we have planned separately apart from the regular land route. So, and what is the difference between the two, and why land route is still having its own importance. So, I will compare the two also, and I'll give you information. And if you have any questions also, I'll be more than happy to address. And if I don't have an answer, I will find an answer and I'll come back to you. So that will be the overall way session will go about. So first of all, session what we have planned is a 12-night, 13-day yatra. So starting on 31st May. So 31st May is the day one of the yatra. And on that day, you are expected to reach Kathmandu by 1 p.m. So we will arrange the pickup. So from the airport, and we have booked a hotel. And so once you do the hotel check-in and all that, you can have your lunch. And after lunch in the evening, we are planning to visit a couple of temples. And after the temple visit, we will have the briefing of the whole yatra. So we will not be going into the details of the thing today. So I'll just give you an overall idea about the yatra today. So more detailed briefing will happen on the first day of the yatra. So today it's all the kind of questions that you have, so that we will try to address. So that will be the day one. And we will also, as part of the orientation, we will be giving you a duffel bag and a backpack. So in other words, whatever things that you have carried, your suitcases and luggages and all that, it has to be left behind at Kathmandu itself. So of course, day one, after the orientation session and the distribution of the gifts, so you will stay back at the hotel. And next morning, we will have visits to various temples in and around Kathmandu. I think within Kathmandu, not even around Kathmandu. So we'll be going to Pashupatinath temple. So we are planning for Rudrabhishekam there at the Pashupatinath temple. And then following that, we have another 231 Guhyeshwari Shakti Peeth is there, one of the 51 Shakti Peethas. So that we will be visiting. And in the evening, there is one Krishna temple. And so a couple of more temples, Jalanarayana temple. So all these things we will visit on the Monday, that is on the 1st of June, day 2. Okay. So day 2, 1st of June, we'll be visiting all of that. And then in the night, we come back and take early rest. These 2 nights we'll be spending at Kathmandu in a hotel. On the day 3, early morning, we will have to leave towards our yatra will begin. And so we will be starting around 5 a.m. kind of a thing. So those details, final details, exact time and all that, one day before we will brief you. So just to give you an idea, so we will, and you should have packed all your clothes or whatever essentials required. So into those duffel bag and the backpack that we would have distributed to you on the day one. And so all your suitcases will be left behind in the hotel. And on the day 3 early morning, we start our yatra. And when we start our yatra, so it will be about 5-6 hours of drive that day. So, and we are expected to complete the crossing of the border and immigration procedures, everything by 2 p.m. So, so we'll be entering into the Tibet border at the place called Kiran. So there we will complete the immigration procedure. And at the time of immigration procedure, you are supposed to follow certain protocols. Like one important protocol is our gallery should not have any anti messages about China, Tibet, or anything connected to Dalai Lama. So those things, and if something is found, they can detain and cancel our permit also. So, and they will do a thorough screening of our gallery. So, and some things, our phones also have to be submitted. So we'll have to be conscious of this fact. And once we cross the border, then we take rest at Kiran on day 3. And on the day 4, we will continue to spend our time at the same place, Kirong. So in other words, 2 nights we'll be spending there, because it will also help in acclimatization, getting used to higher altitudes. It's not good to go all of a sudden to 19-20,000 once for all. So we plan to get acclimatized to slowly, of little higher, little higher altitudes. So in that way, on the day 4, also we will spend our time in the acclimatization. So day 3 evening we would have reached Kiron. So after we have completed the immigration procedure, so day 4 we will stay in the same place, and there is one Padmanabha Swami cave temple there. So we'll be visiting there, and a lot of bhajans, kirtans, and philosophical discussions will also be planned throughout the day on the day 4. On day 5, we will be traveling to a place called Saga from Kiron. So that is again a 6 hours drive. And so once we reach Saga, and then little further is New Dongpa. So we'll be staying at New Dongpa. That is a place within Tibet. And at one point, you may have to, the lunch will be packed lunch. And once we reach New Dongpa, dinner will be served there at the hotel. So, and whatever yatra related shopping, so the trekking stick or any other aspects, it can be purchased from here. So there is a market at New Dongpa. And of course, some essentials we would be giving you, some snacks, and of course, oxygen canisters. We will be providing 2 oxygen cans for each one of you. So as part of the yatra package. And so spending the night at that day on day 5 will also help again in acclimatization. So that is about the day 5. On the day 6, that is the 5th June, we will be traveling from New Dongpa to Mansarovar. So Manasarovar is about 2 hours drive from New Dongpa. So we will travel there, and mostly we should be leaving New Dongpa around 8:30 kind of a thing after breakfast. So in other words, around 10:30 we would be reaching there. So of course, if the climate permits, we can leave early also, so that we reach Mansarovar by 9 a.m. So then there we will arrange for taking bath. So as per the local authorities or local government thing, so we are not supposed to get into the waters directly and take bath. So we will have to take a bucket and get the water from the lake, and move a few meters away from the lake, and take our bath. So that will be the system. So more details we will share as part of the yatra briefing. And so we are planning. So of course, I cannot 100% assure. So we will also have some couple of dress change tents. So sometimes the government will give permission, sometimes they will deny. So provided last time we got, so provided this time also we get the permission. So 2 tents we will be setting it up, so that it will be helpful for the yatris to change their dress once they have taken the bath in Kailash Manasarovar lake. And so after the bathing and all that, so we will also perform an yagna. So at the nearby hall, so just on the banks of the Manasarovar lake, there is a hall. So we have also got a pandit, so who will be making us do some pujas and havan and all that. And so this is about day 6. The day 6, which is 5th June, we will be going to the Manasarovar thing. So and then after that, there is also one more lake, Rakshasthal. So there we will not have bath, we'll only have the viewing thing. And so then after that, we will be traveling to a place called Darshan, which is about 1 hour by bus from Manasarovar. So from there, and in fact, while we are at Manasarovar Lake, while we are doing this bath and all that, we will be able to have the darshan of south face of the Kailash. So that is what we will be able to have darshan. So and then once we have done the havan everything, in the evening we will travel 1 hour by bus to Darchen. And of course, there is also one more option that 100% we will not come to know well in advance. So if at all there is some kind of an accommodation near Manasarovar, so that also we are trying. So, but it cannot be confirmed well in advance. So we will come to know, because accommodation in Tibet, how it works is, so we will have to just tell them that we are this much group of people. So how they plan is up to them. So we will not be able to influence beyond a point. So, however, because of the good relationships that we have with them. So it is definitely not going to be an issue. So we will manage that. So assuming that we'll still going to Darchen and stay. So Darchen has good hotels, so nothing to worry about that. So on day 7, we will spend our day at Darchen again for acclimatization, because by the time we have reached Darchen, we are approximately at 15,000 feet. So 15,000 feet is quite high. So kind of Kedarnath, Badrinath, they're all around that range. So that is also at quite height. So we will spend our time there, and there we will also get darshan if there are people. Okay, that is on the next day. So on that day, we will just stay at Darchen and acclimatize ourselves, and we will do some more briefing and katha and bhajans and all that. And that is the day we will have to also prepare for our parikrama starting on the next day. So that is the day 7. Along with acclimatization, we will also plan our parikrama. So in other words, right now, for all these 5 days, that is from day 3 to day 7, you might have carried your backpack and the duffel bag, right? All your bags, main bags, luggage, suitcases, everything would have been left in the hotel. So now for those who are going for parikrama, you will have to now leave behind the duffel bags at the hotel at Darchen, and you will have to carry only the backpack. So packing the essentials into that backpack, some essential medicine, spectacles, and some dry fruit or protein bars or some snacks. So that kind of essential things only. We will guide you more details on that. So nothing to worry. So those things we will pack, and it is ideally recommended that the backpack should not weigh more than 2 kgs. If it can be done in 1 kg, that's the ideal thing, because we will only get exhausted while doing the parikrama if we don't plan a light weight thing. Sometimes yatris want to take more, but then eventually they will realize that it's becoming tough for them. So we'll guide you more on that part. And now coming to the next day, that is on the day 8. So that will be 7th June. That will be the first day of the parikrama. So as I said, we will also would have given you the 2 oxygen canisters. So even that will be packed in as part of your backpack thing. And so we will also guide you on thermals and water bottle, what has to be carried, etc. So this is where the whole batch will have to get divided into 3 parts. One part, those who are not going for parikrama, they'll stay back at Darchen, wherever you had been staying last night. The second and third batches are those who are going for parikrama. Now the second batch is those who are going by foot. So that is entire 45 kilometer, between 42 and 45 kilometers is the overall parikrama length. And so the third group is about those who are going by horse. So the first group is those who stay back at the Darchen without going for parikrama. Second group is those who are going to parikrama but by foot. And the third group is those who are going to parikrama but by horse. So whoever has to go by or willing to go by horse, who cannot walk these 45 kilometers, so you will have to note that this has to be decided well in advance. So on spot decision cannot be made, because these horses have to be gotten from a stable which is about 40 kilometers away or something like that. So there is a horse union and all that. So we will have to keep them informed of this, our requirement of so many horses, etc. So once we inform them, so they will get that many horses to the place. And one more thing is that, say suppose we have booked a horse for X person. So and once the X person gets onto the horse, so they will not allow Y or Z person to get onto the horse throughout the entire yatra. So that should be clear. In other words, if there is a couple, husband and wife, so they will not agree that for some duration her husband will ride the horse, and for some duration the wife. So that is not possible. So, and whereas at the beginning, say suppose you had between husband and wife, husband had decided that he will ride the horse and wife had decided no. So but whatever circumstance or situation, So on the day of the parikrama, the wife decides that she will ride and husband decides to walk. So that is perfectly fine. So their rule is whoever gets onto the horse for the first hour, so they continue to ride for the rest of the journey. So that can't be shared. And so that will cost about 50 to 60,000 rupees. So that will be outside the yatra package, so which has to be borne by the yatri. And one more interesting important point to be noted for those who are going by horse is out of this entire 42-kilometer parikrama, there will be 6-kilometer path on the day 2 of the parikrama, which is day 9, where the horse cannot go into the, you cannot ride the horse. You will have to walk compulsorily. In other words, whoever is going for parikrama, you have to understand, especially those who are taking the horse, that entire 42-kilometer cannot be traversed by the horse. So that means you should, only those people who can walk 6 kilometers on a rough path, so only those people should opt for walking over the foot. So if you're not able to walk 6 kilometers, then you cannot come for the parikrama at all. You'll have to stay back at darshan itself. So this is one important observation for all of you to note. And we will also give you more information about, like, for us, all of them look similar. So we will have to take the photograph of the person and the pony or the horse that we are allotted and all that. And so we will get all this information for those who have enrolled, whether you want horse or whether you're going by foot or whether you're staying back at darshan. So all this we will be discussing with you in detail. So can I request our team to display the picture of the Kailash Parikrama Yatra? I'll be able to explain it to the yatris in a better manner if that is projected. So I hope everybody is able to see this map. So in this, you can see just above Manasa Lake and Rakshasthal, which is at the bottom of the picture. Just above that, you can see a place named Darshan. So that is where we would have stayed on the previous day of beginning the yatra. So on the day 8, that is on the parikrama's first day, whoever is going for parikrama, whoever is not going for parikrama, they'll continue to stay at Darshan. When we start our parikrama on the day 8, that is the first day of parikrama, as I mentioned, whoever is not coming for parikrama, they'll continue to stay back at the hotel at Darshan. Whoever is going for parikrama, they will go in the bus from Darshan to Yamadwar. Okay, so up till Yamadwar, everybody will go by bus, and from Yamadwar, we will start our journey either by foot or by horse. So both will start from Yamadwar, and on the day 1, that is the day 8 of the yatra and day 1 of the parikrama, we will start from Yamadwar and end at Dirapuk. So this will be roughly a 10-kilometer stretch, 10-kilometer path. It is a plain route, and during this entire stretch of either foot or horse travel between Yamadwar and Dirapuk, you will be getting to see the Mount Kailash on the south face of the Mount Kailash. Whatever you got to see while at the Manasa Lake on the day 6, the same view will be available to you on the day 8, day 1 of the parikrama between Yamadwar and Dirapuk. So this is about a 10-kilometer thing. And as you go further, you will be able to see the west face of Kailash. That is, as you approach closer to Dirapuk. So from the south face, you will also start getting views of west face. And by the time you reach Dirapuk, you will start getting glimpses of north face of Kailash. So in other words, you would have started, when you started at Yamadwar, you will get south, and then you will get west. As you can see the map also on the bottom right corner of the picture. So then you start getting glimpses of the west face of Kailash. And as you move further, you will also get the views of the north face of Kailash. On the left hand side, while you are traveling, there is a beautiful Karnali river. So that will also add to the beauty of the place. So this is where we will be going. And then at this point, say somebody up till Dirapuk, they started with good intents of going for parikrama, etc. So, but meanwhile, in this 10-kilometer walk or the horse ride, God forbid, So we don't expect, but in case if there is any deterioration of health of somebody or anything, so there is a way to bring them back to darshan. So we will have to call for an ambulance. So we would have kept those things also handy with our team. So, and it will be at a little extra cost to be borne by the yatri for the ambulance cost and etc. So, but we will have all the facility made available by us. So to get you back to darshan. So, and otherwise, by evening or so, when we reach the Dirapuk, that is on the day 8, first day of Parikrama. So at Dirapuk, you will not get a hotel like you would have been staying in all these days. So you will only get a dorm with about 16 to 20 people, kind of a sleeping thing. So, but then we don't have to worry. Only thing is that there are no washrooms. That is the biggest shock in these dorms. But each of these beds will be clean, neat and clean. Neat linen will be provided. Blankets will be provided. So all of that we don't have to worry. And only thing, the washroom facility is not there. So we'll be forced for open defecation. So, but even there, we are trying to bring in some elements where things the experience could be slightly better. So we are trying for some mobile tents and all that. However, it all is subject to the permission, subject to the climate, subject to so many things. So that's why I feel better promise less and deliver more. But whatever is possible compared to rest of the yatris coming from different groups, I can only assure you that we will give you a better experience, because we want to make this as interesting and comfortable as possible. And I also wish to mention that this is the yatra, so which will also give you a lot of time for doing bhajans, kirtans, and we'll also have a lot of spiritual discussions. So that is what I would say would make an yatra conducted by ISKCON very special as compared to any other yatras conducted by the travel agents. So coming back to the yatra thing, so on the day 9, which is the day 2 of the parikrama, we start from Dirapuk and we come to Zutulfuk. The distance that would be traversed on the second day from Dirapuk to Zutulfuk is about 22 kilometers. So now out of this 22 kilometers, it can be divided into 3 stretches. The first stretch is the 6 kilometer stretch from Dirapuk to Shapje Datok. You can see that. So while you are passing through that, so this first 6 kilometer stretch out of 22 kilometers, that is Dirapuk to Shapje Datok. So you will be passing through 2 important things. One is Dolma La Pass, so which is at the highest point during this entire parikrama, which is about 5,630 meters. So that is the highest point you will be touching during this entire parikrama, and you will also be passing through Gauri Kund. So Gauri Kund, again, importance of all these places we will describe in the yatra. So although you will be very close, about say 200-300 meters from Gauri Kund, but as per the local authorities, you're not supposed to go in there or take bath or anything. So, but if we give a little bit of money to the people who are accompanying us, so they will get some water for us in a bottle. All that we will guide you more details over there. And then coming to the second stretch of 6 kilometers from Shapje, in fact, after Dolma La Pass itself, the 6 kilometer stretch, what I said, the first one is Dirapuk to Dolma La Pass, not Shapje Datok. Okay. So till there, yeah, as you see in the picture, it is a high altitude thing. It's on a steep thing. So you are ascending the path. So whoever is going by walk will go. Whoever is going by horse will go. From Dolma La Pass to Shapje Datok is the stretch 2 of 6 kilometers, which is on a downward or a descent direction. So this is the point where the horses cannot, travel. You cannot ride a horse. That is because it is so steep towards downward descent that many times people fall off the. So, and there are yatris who insist that no, I will go and all that. Every time an yatri has insisted, he has fallen off the horse, and it will lead to unnecessary bruises and all that. So we have decided as yatra organizers that we will not be allowing anybody to traverse this direction by horse, everybody has to walk. So in other words, at the beginning, whatever I mentioned, that 6 kilometer walk is inevitable. So that is between Dolma La Pass and Shapje Detok. That is the stretch 2 of the 6 kilometer. So in other words, from Dirapuk to Shapje Detok, we would have covered the 12 kilometers out of the 22 kilometers that we are supposed to travel on the day 2. And the rest 10 kilometers is the stretch 3, and that is between Shapje Detok and Zutulfuk, and that's a plain route, so nothing to worry. And again, you can get onto your horses at Shapje Detok and come, whoever is traveling by horse. So that is also a thing. And during this journey between I would say Dolma Lapa, Shapje Detok and Zutulfuk, you will get to see the east face of the Kailash. So you would have seen the south, west, and north on the previous day when you were traveling from Darchen to Dirapuk. Now on the second day of the parikrama, which is day 9 of the yatra, from Dirapuk to Zutulfuk you are traveling. So there you get to see the east face of the Kailash mountain. So this is about the second day of parikrama, day 9 of the yatra. And similar to Dirapuk, at Zutulfuk also, we don't have washrooms. So that will be the day 2 where you will have to manage in the dormitories, and you will be forced for open defecation. But as I mentioned, we will try to make it whatever better experience, we will try that. And this is all another point to be noticed here is there is very little facility for ambulances between this point, these Dolma, La Pass and Zutulfuk. So in other words, we will have to be prepared mentally and be clear about going ahead beyond Dirapuk, because up to Dirapuk we can try and get you back to Darchen. The reverse direction is possible. And whereas once you cross Dirapuk and towards Dolma La Pass or Shapje Detok or anything, so to get an ambulance is although not impossible, but it is extremely difficult. So we will have to be clear about our travel further. So that is one thing, because again, if at all there is an emergency at this stretch, you will have to come back to Darchen in the reverse way. You cannot come in the forward way from Shapje Detok, Zutulfuk, Chongdo. You cannot come to Darchen. So that is why it is very difficult. And this east side direction view of the Kailash is also called as Golden Kailash, because when the sun rays fall, so the mountain will look beautiful. You might have seen some of the photos and all that. And while we go through Dolma La Pass, the highest point which I mentioned as 18,500 feet, 5,630 meters. So there is also some place called Shivastal. So where some people wanting to make some donation or this thing can also, we'll guide on all those details. Now, during this parikrama, one important point that I wish to mention is we told you all that at the beginning of the parikrama, the batches will get divided into 3. One, those who are staying back at Darchen, the other 2 were going for parikrama either by horse or by walk. So now here, you should note that every day, both at Darchen and Dirapuk, we will be taking the oxygen level check. So by our yatra guides. So in fact, we'll have 3 guides, one from Indian, so the other from Tibet, and the other from Nepal. So Nepal guide, Indian guide, and Tibet. So 3 people we are, will be there with us to coordinate this yatra smoothly. So the local Tibetan guide, so he will, their team will have a check for the oxygen levels of those who are going for the parikrama. And if it is below a certain point, below 75 or something like that, so then they have a right to deny the yatri the permission to continue or to do the parikrama. So at that time, the yatris should not insist, or even if we insist, there is nothing that we can do. So the organizer will not be responsible to say, no, you have to take us. So there are some 2-3 incidents of where yatris have insisted and things have gone worse. So therefore, we will be subject to the decision of the Tibetan guide. So once we complete the day 2 parikrama at Zutulfuk, on the day 3 is again a very simple thing, not much difficult. In fact, the day 2 of the parikrama is the toughest part. So otherwise, things are very easy. The day 3 is about 8 kilometers. So the first day we traversed about 10 kilometers, second day about 22 kilometers, which was divided into three stretches, so 32. And on the day 3, we will travel about 8 to 10 kilometers. But again, this is Jutulfuk to Changdo. So this is by walk plane route. So there is nothing to worry here. And at one point, the bus will come and take us to Darchen. So this will be so day 3. In fact, we will be returning to our place, and we will join our other yatris or family members who have not joined us for parikrama, say by 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, because on day 3 also we'll start our yatra early, around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And during all this parikrama, we will be given simple food, easy to digest food. Uh, and it is also recommended that we carry some snacks and dry fruit bars or protein bars. So we'll guide you more details on that. So in other words, though, if at all in a family, if one family member is going and the other family is staying back, the length of time that they will be separated in the yatra is only 2 days, because day 1 of the yatra, they would have started from Darchen to Yamadwar and all that, right? So and then so day 2 is they would have traveled from Dirapuk to Zutulfuk. On day 3, by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you will be coming back to Darchen. So only maximum 2 days is what they will be staying away. So that brings the end of the parikrama. And on the day 11, which is 10th June, so we will be traveling from Saga to Kirong. So, and on the day 10, that is on the last day of the parikrama, we will stay at Saga. So we would have traveled from Darchen to Saga, and there we will stay. On day 11, we will travel from Saga to Kirong, which we had stayed earlier for acclimatization 2 days. And on the day 12, we will complete the immigration procedure, and we'll stay at Kathmandu. On day 13, which is 12th June, so that day is the day of departure. So around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, we'll have the breakfast and one final session, so get together session, and after that we will also drop you off to airport. So depending on the flights, maybe 2 3 batches might have to be done for the transport between hotel and the airport. So anyway, those are final details. Now this is the overall plan of the yatra. And coming to some general points before I open the platform for any queries or questions, before I start inviting. So I would like to say that there is no weight restrictions as such for the luggage that we are carrying. But however, it is better to carry light, so travel light. And the second is the currency exchange also will guide. So the Chinese yuan is the currency that is used there. You could either get yourself done through foreign exchange counters. So today things are very easy. So or we will also help you in that aspect. And so what we are doing now, right now, is called outer parikrama, so outer kora. So the inner kora is not allowed as of now. So therefore, that is not possible. And the mobile signals, we will have to have our international roaming activated. We'll guide you more on that. And I already mentioned about the 3 guides that will be coming: Indian guide, Nepal guide, and the Tibetan guide. The oximeter, the check and all that will be performed. I already mentioned to you. We will also guide you more about those who are enrolling with us, about what are the things that we need to do to improve our health in next 2 or 3 months. No, of course, we are still left with 4 months. So May 31st is the yatra. So how do we, improve our thing? What are the exercises? What are the pranayamas that could be done, and all that? And when it comes to the devotees, about 2 or 3 devotees will be joining from the temple side. So to make the yatra more lively and more meaningful. So by engaging in spiritual practices and all that. And we are also trying to have a doctor on board. So that will make it more more secure. And so there will be shopping opportunities at Kathmandu as well as Kirong, where if anything connected to the jacket or anything you want to purchase, trekking stick, all that will be there. And so this is about overall thing. And there will be some during the parikrama also, there will be some Tibetan small shops and all that, where some soup or coffee tea can be had. And anything else, if I have left out, I think I will address it during the Q&A session. So I now request if anybody has any questions. Okay, before I do that, shall I also mention about the aerial view, or do you all want to ask the questions about this route and then I mention about the aerial view of the yatra?
Aerial view can be presented now so that we will have lesser questions.
Yes. So basically, in the aerial view, we are planning an yatra during the Shivratri time. So that is on Feb 14 to 16. 15th Feb happens to be Shivratri day. So we are starting on 14th and ending on 16th. So what it requires is on 14th morning 9 a.m. you will have to be reaching Lucknow from whichever part of the country or the world you're coming. So if your flight can't reach well before 9 or well before 8, because even after you reach airport you'll have to come out, pick up your checked-in baggage or something, and then reach the place that we are mentioning. So since it's going to take time, some of you might have to travel on the 13th evening and stay overnight at Lucknow. So, but our yatra package starts on 14th morning. And 14th morning, once you reach a point what we are going to mention at 9 a.m. So from there, we will be taking you by vehicle to a place called Nepal Ganj, which is within Nepal. It's about 4-5 hour drive from Lucknow city. So, and there we are going to visit a couple of temples during the first day, and we'll be staying at Nepal Ganj in a hotel. And on the day two, in the morning after breakfast, everything, we will go on a flight. So that flight has about 40 seats. It's a 2+2 ATR aircraft. So we will be taking you. So the total flight duration will be about 75 minutes, 1 hour and 15 minutes. And during this 1 hour 15 minutes flight from start to end point, the duration for which you will be having darshan of Mount Kailash is about 15 minutes. So in that 15 minutes, about 5 to 7 minutes will be visible for those who are seated on the left. And another 5 to 7 minutes will be visible for those people who are seated on the right. Now, when it comes to the seating, so if at all there is a family members joining, so husband and wife, mother and father, son, or brother and sister, two brothers, two sisters, whatever be it. So it is recommended that one of them take the window seat and the other we give them the non-window seat. So this allocation will be done by us internally. So because within a family they can always swap their seats and have the darshan of Mount Kailash. So the beauty of this yatra is you don't need a passport, you don't need a visa, so you are not restricted by the physical fitness levels, and more importantly not stopped by the age factor, because otherwise for the land route yatra 70 and above people are not allowed by the Tibetan government. So none of these things happen. So for about 1 hour 15 minutes this will be the duration of the flight, and 15 minutes, both 7 minutes left side, 7 minutes right side, you get to see Mount Kailash, and you come back within 1.5 hours to the back to the same place where you started the flight. After that, in the second half of the day too, we will travel back from that place to Lucknow something. On day 3, we after breakfast departing to your respective destinations. So it's a simple 2-night 3-day yatra. So, and this we are also trying to combine with the other 3 important places, what we generally call it as a golden triangle: Ayodhya, Varanasi, and Prayagraj. It is also the Magha Masa. So now, right, in fact, last year was the Mahakumbh at the same time. So this year for the Magha Masa, many people would like to want to go to Triveni Sangam for taking bath or doing some rituals. And at the same time, some people will desire to go to Varanasi, which is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. And there we are planning to have Rudrabhishekam and Ganga Aarti. So, and then also at Ayodhya now, with the completion of the rituals and the procedures and the Kalasha Sthapana at Ayodhya, so many of them will be desiring to see the full form of the temple. So that also we'll be arranging VIP darshan and all that at Ayodhya. So if people are willing, they could subscribe only to Kailash Manas Sarovara Yatra, or only to Ayodhya, Kashi and Prayag Yatra, or combine the two. So if they are combining the two, they will start their yatra from Varanasi. They'll have to flow in from whichever part of the world to Varanasi. So from Varanasi, we start our yatra, where on the first day we'll be going to some temples, Kal Bhairav temple and all that, Hanuman temple and all that. And in the evening, we will have the darshan of the Kashi Vishwanatha and the corridor, and we'll attend the Ganga Aarti. So in the evening, on the second day morning, we'll again go for the Rudrabhishekam. That is still under discussion whether we can be done on day one. So the details we will explain it to those who are enrolling with us. And on the day two, we travel from Varanasi to, that is on the 12th Feb. So we travel from Varanasi to Prayag. And on the day two, we will check into a hotel at Prayag and then do our rituals and Triveni Sangam Snan and couple of temples, Letev Hanuman and Triveni Madhav and Nagavasuki temples and all that. So day one, we would have stayed at Varanasi, 11th Feb. So 12th Feb, day two, we would stay at Prayag, one night at Prayag. And day three morning, we start our journey from Prayag to Ayodhya, which is about 4.5 hours drive. And day three, we will go for darshan of Ramji. And in the evening, some more temples, Dasharatha Mahal and all that, Hanuman Gadi and all that. And day three, we will be staying at Ayodhya. So we have planned in such a way that we spend one night at Kashi, one night at Prayag, and one night at Ayodhya. On day 14, this if there are people who have joined only for Kashi, Prayag, Ayodhya Yatra, on day 14 morning, they will depart. So, and if there are people who are joining only for Kailash, day 14 morning, the day 4, that is 14th 14th Feb morning, they will arrive at Lucknow. So if there are people who are continuing, so then they will continue in the same way, because we would have been staying at Ayodhya on the day 3 night, 13th February night. On 14th February morning, we will travel from Ayodhya to Lucknow and continue our Kailash Manas Sarovara Yatra. So this is about the aerial view. So now coming to the comparison between the two. So now things look very simple in aerial. So then why do we have to take the land route? So that is one question it might arise in some of your minds. See, basically Shastras talk about different levels of austerities in our spiritual practices. So let me give you a simple example of fasting. So now when Shastras recommend fasting for the sadhakas, so there are different levels of fasting that scriptures mention. So primarily about 5 levels of fasting. The top one level, highest level, is called Nirjala Upavas. So Nirjala Upavas, as the name itself, Sanskrit name itself suggests, so you are not even having water for the entire day from sunrise to sunrise. So that's the highest form of fasting, which is Nirjala Upavas. So the next level of fasting, the second level, one level slightly below that, is people who can't do Nirjala, but then they will take only Jala. So they will take only water. So they will not take anything else. So on the third level, which is one level slightly below the second level, is no, just water is not sufficient for my body, for my type of the body. So I need little more energy. So people will take some other liquids that also give them energy. It could be juices, it could be kind of milk or milkshakes or anything, dry fruit shake, whatever. So but liquids. So little more than water. On the level 4, the liquids alone might not suffice. Then we might also take fruits. So which is not liquid, but a solid food, but fruits we will take. So fruits also category will also include salads and also raw food, anything uncooked. Now the level 5 is cooked food, but non-grains. So no grains, no rice, wheat, and upma, idli, dosa. So it will be non-grains like sabbakki, varai, quinoa, kind of a thing. So, but that's a cooked food. Now, in one sense, all the 5 levels are considered to be fasting. So the it is said that all the 5 are qualified for fasting. But within the fasting umbrella, these 5 ranges, show different level of commitment, seriousness for on the part of sadhaka. So because the level 1 involves the highest amount of austerity. So while doing all our day-to-day chores, we still manage not to have water. So, but sometimes we may desire, but our body may not permit. So coming back to connecting this particular analogy of fasting to the yatra, it is definitely, if suppose there is somebody who is already above 70 or somebody who is below 70 but is not in a physical condition to take up this yatra. So then definitely there is no much choice other than to go for the aerial view of the yatra. So now, but for those who can, so should definitely try it out because it involves a higher level of austerity. Because in one sense, we can also see Kailash Manasa Sarovara Yatra on a video. So on a large screen sitting from the comfort of our homes, on our laptop, on our phones. Now we are still wanting to go aerial because that feel vibe is different. So taking the same analogy forward, so for those who are actually there, so because in the aerial view, you get to see in the flight. As I mentioned, that's the only choice for those who can't afford either because of the age or the physical fitness levels or whatsoever. So now for the others who can, should definitely give it a try because being there in that holy presence makes the difference. So that's where that soul will experience that vibes and that spirituality at that location. So this is what all I had to say about both these yatras. And now I open up the floor for all of you to let me know if you would like to ask something. Yes, I can see the hand of Mr. Bhupesh. So please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So nice. I mean, very well explained. I mean, thank you very much for that. Wonderful. Rather, I would say, as if we have actually traveled around the Mount Kailash. I mean, that kind of feeling that you gave. Thank you very much for that. Number one. Number two is, Prabhu, does it, this yatra is organized by a tour operator or an experienced, because that's very important to know, because it's going to be not so easy, but so well experienced operator is a very important thing. I mean, I'm sure with the temple devotees of 2 3 people, I mean, would accompany, which will more gives us some kind of the austerity in terms of the support from the Hare Krishna Mandir. But it is very important to have the tour operator who is very experienced and should give a lot of support. That is one. Second question. Third is, what is the limitations in terms of the people? I mean, I would say there will be a large number of people, or we have restricted to the number of people that would enable us to plan also for us. Yeah, thank you.
So I'll address both your questions, Bhupesh ji. So yes, you are right on in terms of pointing out that having a travel operator who's experienced in that particular field is important. I fully agree with you because in any other yatra, say for example Ayodhya, Kashi, Prayag, or we conduct our yatras to Dwarka, Vrindavan. So all these places, there could be no better people to organize these yatras of spiritual importance. By devotees, they can themselves do it. But when it comes to places like this, or Char Dham Yatra, or the Kailash Manas Sarovar Yatra, etc. So although the intent of the devotees is good, and they would be giving you the background of the bhajans, kirtans, and we'll also be able to engage in the spiritual discussions during the yatra. But on ground support, it is extremely important to have a dedicated team who are the best in class there. So therefore, I would be happy to inform you that we have engaged the number one player in the whole yatra thing. So we are going to get their support, and so they will be organizing the things for us. Over and above, we are going to get our layer of experience, and we are customizing it for all of you. So you don't have to worry anything. The best in class operator is with us. So that's about your first question. And the second question on the numbers. So right now, we had a plan to take about 80 or 90 people in a batch, because roughly about 30 people, they give a bus. So we were planning of 3 buses and 3 devotees. So however, it all depends on number of enrollments. If that doesn't happen, then mostly it might get restricted to 50 or 60 people. So this is on the practical thing, which is more on the response from the people. So does or both of your questions addressed, Bhupesh ji?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome. So I next see the hands of Mr. Manoj. Please go ahead and.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my questions are related to like three different questions. First one, can NRI family members who don't have an Indian passport, can they join in?
Okay, so can I note your question and come back, please?
Sure, Prabhuji. Sure.
So
Thank you.
you're talking about an NRI,
Yeah,
but without an Indian passport.
correct. They have American citizenship. Just wondering if they can join in because
So
they are
as far
interested.
as I can answer to some extent, I can tell you that it is very much possible as long as you're getting a mainland China visa. In fact, I would also further go ahead and add one more point that for those who are not Indians, that is American citizenship or whoever other each country varies. But last meeting also had talked about specifically America, so US citizens. So they have to come if at all US citizens are trying to join us in this yatra, and if they don't have China visa already, so they have to arrive at least 5 to 6 days prior to the yatra. In other words, 31st is a weekend, if I am right, Sunday. So now you will have to come on 25 or 26th to Kathmandu in case you don't have the China visa, so that those 4 days, actually the requirement is only 2 hours in the thing, but that has to happen 4 days before because they need about 3 to 4 working days to process your permit for the Kailash thing. In the option 2, in case you are able to manage through your any contacts or connects or what it is, I do not know the procedure. If you are able to manage to get the China visa for you in this 3 or 4 months time, then you don't have to come. If you just get your China visa by yourself, then you can come like anybody else on the day of the yatra itself. So for which I think Indian passport is not a must. So the crucial point is the China visa, however, as far as I understand. But then at the end of this call, I can leave my number or my team's number, with or email ID also. I'll mention it at the end of this call. You could also reach out to us since we don't have your number. We don't know from where all of you are joining. So I can give, if you can connect with us, we'll try to give you a more pakka solution on that. So can you, is that okay?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my second question is, you said 70 is the upper limit of the age. Is there a lower limit? Kids,
10 years.
how young kids can join in?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. Okay. And the third question I have is related to the last date we can register for this.
So basically, you see, 2 months before the yatra date, we will have to start processing the permit and visas, and there are so many procedures to be there. Okay, one more thing is those who are after this call is done. Again, I don't know how to reach all of you because you would have got this link from somewhere and etc. etc. So, but however, we, as I said, on the first come first serve basis. We wish to take, like for example, from Indore side, we have received about 26 confirmations of yatris joining us, and about 8 or 9 of them are from US. So it all depends on quick. I don't want to put any kind of pressure on any of the yatris because as long as we have seats and we welcome as many people as possible. So I don't think I can define a last date for the yatra, but the earlier you decide, the better it is because we will be sending you a declaration form and a format of the medical fitness certificate that you will have to get it acknowledged by a medical practitioner from your side that you are qualified for taking up this yatra. So that one format we have, so that we will be sharing it with the people who have confirmed with us. And so as far as the amount is concerned, I think had already in the poster it is mentioned as 3.3. So we will be slightly higher than the market pricing of whatever 2.4 and 2.5. So that will come at its own advantages also. And I would like to unhesitatingly, without any shy mention, that the surplus of this is going to the temple. And that is how the temple devotees are also putting their time and energy in conducting this yatra. So I hope but that 50-60,000 should not make a very big difference as far as the experience of the yatra is concerned, because these are the yatras that we would be taking once in our lifetime. So unlike we visit the places like within India, Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, we will not be traveling there regularly, unlike to these places to Manasa. So what you take up once in a lifetime made more special by the involvement of the devotees, and that's a price tag that is coming along with it, and also for the experience and customization that we are trying to bring in the element of the spirituality from our side. So that answers on the pricing point. So you have one more question left, Manojji?
Yes, Prabhu. Last question was for the aerial view option, right? Will there be a session like this conducted where we can get more details, and what is the pricing for it?
Yeah, right now we have kept it at 75,000 per head. So for those who are joining only Kailash Manas Sarovar, and for those who are joining both, it's I think 1,15,000, something like that. So for those who are joining Kailash as well as Varanasi, Ayodhya, and Prayag.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That's all. Those were my questions. Thanks a lot.
Yes. I can also see the hand of Shravanti ji. So can you please go
Hare
ahead and
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Could I speak?
Yes,
Hare
madam.
Krishna. My
Yeah.
name is Shanti.
Yes, madam. Go ahead.
Let's give the question first. I'll wait, sir.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. I traveled with you people at Prayagraj. I had a very good experience and thank you for that. And this is regarding aerial view of Mount Kailash, because earlier I have already visited. I would like to know whether we will be able to see all the four sides of Kailash in this.
Although I feel the answer is yes, but I don't want to commit anything and be wrong. So aerial, whether all four sides or not, I will have to come back to you, madam. I think I'm speaking to Chandrika ji, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes,
then I think
Prabhuji.
we will reach out the answer to you, madam. So I'm not. Although I am hopeful that answer is yes, but I don't want to commit something which I'm not 100% sure about it. So we'll get back to you on this.
Because on the earlier one, I went up to Yamadwar and I had to return to the base camp. So that satisfaction is not complete.
Sure.
That's why I want to know. I will decide based on that answer.
Sure. So maybe you're in the Bhakti Yatra group, right? So I will mention the answer there itself. So you'll get to see, and individually also I'll reach out the answer to you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, madam, please.
Sir, I have two questions. The first
Yes.
question is, for example, if we are choosing for land route,
Okay.
do we get a passport?
Do we get passport?
No. Actually, I lost my passport. So if without passport, can I choose for the land parikrama?
No, madam. You will have to get your passport then.
Okay. For example, if we choose flight mode for parikrama,
Okay.
do we get a passport?
No, for aerial view you don't need.
Okay, sir. Sir, if in the aerial view, can we physically go to Mansarovar Lake?
No.
Okay, so we can't reach the Mansarovar Lake physically in the aerial view.
No, in the aerial view you can't reach anywhere. You will be only in the flight.
Okay.
So from the point where you are taking off the flight, so you will be going for about 1 hour 15 minutes, which I explained during the meeting, and
Yes.
coming back to the place where you are thinking. So nothing in. So that's the reason why there is no passport, no visa required for the aerial view, because you are not touching the land at all.
Okay, Prabhuji. So so Mansarovar Lake also can be seen only through the flight.
Yes, that's all. So if you want to experience, then you will have to go by the land route.
Okay,
Now
Prabhuji.
for the land route, I can get back to you, so that if case there is no passport with voter ID, sometimes it is possible. I think it is not. Passport is a must, I guess. I'll have to come back to you. So what I can do is you can note one number and the email ID for any of these queries further, if in case you are not part of the because people from different temples might have joined here. Vajrana Prabhu, can you give our common email ID?
Yeah, I'll type in the chat box.
No, sir, some people may not know how to see in the chat box. Can you just tell it is connect, right?
Yeah, connect@HKM
MP. So you may please note down the email ID for any communication. It is CONNECT, connect. So connect @HKM connect.mp.org. I repeat, connect CONNECT @HKM, standing for Hare Krishna Movement, HKM, MP, standing for Madhya Pradesh. It's one word. So connect@HKMMP.org. And you can also note down a mobile number. So can you type that in the chat box?
Sure.
Mobile number 7224864316. So this is also the contact number in case if you wish to ask any further clarification. So there is also WhatsApp chat on this number, right, Vajrana Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
So then there is one more hand going up. So can you please ask your question, Manojji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
My question, I in fact had two questions. First one was, so right now what you have very well explained is about the entire Manasa Sarovar Yatra plus the including the parikrama, right? So I just
Yes.
wanted to know if there is a different pricing for only the Manasa Sarovar Yatra and then return without doing the.
No, madam. The thing we worked out that initially with the local government as well as the travel agency that we will be roping in, which I described as the best in class for the Kailash Yatra. So how it works basically is just like if some of you have an idea about Chardham Yatra, if some of you would have traveled or heard about it. So even before I did that 2 years ago, I had no idea. So then I understood that, say, suppose if you're going to Chardham Yatra, so by chopper especially, so there is a fixed circuit that is planned by the government and the travel agencies. From Dehradun, they take you to Yamunotri, Yamunotri to Gangotri, Gangotri to Kedar, Kedar to Badri, Badri to Dehradun. So this circuit you will not be able to break. You will not be able to go to Kedar first and then to Yamunotri. That doesn't operate. The entire choppers are driven in the similar direction. So now just drawing parallel to this particular thing, what happens here is initially I had planned to divide the whole yatra into two batches. One batch, those who are going for parikrama, the other batch, they don't have to wait for those 2 days, which I mentioned as those who are, they can stay back at Darshan, and after 2 days, the rest of the yatri will come back and join us at Darshan, and then we'll be on the return path. So I wanted the first batch of people who are staying back at the Darshan to return immediately. They don't have to wait for others, right? So that was the intent with which we approached them. But then I realized that it doesn't work that way. So when the moment you are entering China for this package of Mansarovar Yatra, you have to pay a certain amount, 1.6 lakhs or something, and that will be given as a group permit. Okay. So once you do that, then you will have to go together, come together. There is no question of second option, in fact. Okay. And so much so that I didn't further go into that detail because it was not necessary at this point. But since you have asked, I am also mentioning that now this parikrama is, this whole batch is planned in such a way that after Manas Sarovar, you stay at Darshan, and on the day 7, you start your, or day 8, you start your first day of parikrama. Now, all of us are supposed to go to parikrama. That's the plan. Now, as per the plan, nobody is allowed to stay back at Darshan. You got my point. So now for those who are staying back at Darshan who can't go for parikrama, in fact, they have to pay extra over and above the package price for staying back in the hotel. So you may say that, and there I again used my logic and discretion to say, see, anyway, those who are going for parikrama, they're staying at Dirapuk or Zutulfuk, that accommodation we are not taking. So, but instead I'm staying at Darshan because I'm not able to go for parikrama. So why should I pay extra for that? So they said, no, this is the circuit. You are supposed to come and stay at Dirapuk and Zutulfuk, but since you are not wanting to go, we are facilitating you by putting you up at Darshan. Because this is one yatra where money doesn't play much role. So getting a facility and getting a proper hospitality makes a whole lot of difference. So then they explained to us that no, getting itself is a big thing. So not only we, because we have got some connects, and as I said, the best in class travel operator. So we are able to arrange all of these things. So this is a detail, madam. So to answer your question in one line, it is not possible for practically, it is not that it is not possible by anybody cannot do this. So it has to be done in one similar thing. So the people who are not going for parikrama, they have to stay back at darshan and wait for others to join. And they have one more option. That is, as I said, when they go for parikrama, that 2 days, and the third day they are coming back. The second day, which is the lean day, because first day by the time you send off yatris itself will be about 11, 12 o'clock. And the third day by 11, 12 o'clock, they're coming back. The second day is the main day where whole day you will be sitting without your family members or without the other yatris. So that day there is an option for the yatris who are staying back to go to a place called Ashtapad. That's the place where the Rishabhadeva of Jainism, so he attained the salvation. So that's so that I think about some 6,000, 7,000 yuan something. Exactly, I can let you know how much is the cost. That much if we pay, then 3 to 4 hours it will take. So that will be the engagement for those who are not going there, and they can go to Ashtapad, have the darshan there, and then come back. So that's an alternate option for those who are staying back, but then they will not be able to get back to Kathmandu on their own.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. My initial the idea with which I asked this question was: is there a separate yatra planned only for Manasarovar, or all yatras planned by ISKCON would be inclusive of the parikrama?
Yeah, I think as of now we haven't planned any yatra exclusively only for Mansarovar. We go and come back.
Okay, all right. So I just also like to have some clarity on what about the food arrangements? Is it like we are sourcing ingredients locally, or whatever is available locally? Of course,
Yes.
I'm sure Sattvic food will be available.
Yeah,
But
before I
we
even
also plan to take someone to cook with
yeah,
us.
before I answer Amitaji about the food part, one more aspect is, even if ISKCON is willing to organize an yatra only for Manasarovar, the costing will still be the same as I explained to you just now.
Okay.
That we will have to. So that is why we didn't do that, because there is no point in a group of say 30 or 40 people. There will be definitely 10 people, 15 people who will want to do that. Now, when the cost is the same for those, in fact, I said for the entire batch, can we do that? So entire batch itself we define. So even then we have to pay that amount, same amount.
Okay. Okay.
So considering all these aspects, I think we dropped that idea. And coming to the food part, so as part of ISKCON's principles, so we will provide the food which is without onion garlic throughout the yatra. And at some points during the parikrama, as well as the other days other than the parikrama also, so we will have to take the packed food, especially when we are traveling 6 hours, 7 hours between Kirong and Saga or Dongpa and all that places. So there will be packed food provided. And there also that, but entire food throughout the yatra will be without onion garlic, because that's our principle, and it will be sattvic food. So that you don't have to worry about the quality of the food, because that is what we will, which is very crucial for our entire health to be kept well during the yatra. So you don't have to worry the least about the food aspect and the hygiene or the quality aspect.
Of course, of course. Thank you, Prabhuji. Of course, since it is ISKCON, we are absolutely relieved that it will be Sattvic food, and I know the quality would be great. Just wanted a minor info if whether it is like a cook is traveling with us, or is it like locally we'll ensure that Sattvic
Locally we'll ensure, but of course one more expectation also I would like to set it right. It will not be like a spread that we would organize usually at other cities or other yatra stalis. So it will be simple food. So, but definitely we will try to do our best. We are custom. That's where I said customizations from ISKCON will play a special role in terms of enhancing, and that's how the high price point also it's kept. So we are spending extra to improvise on the menu and the thing. So in general, I can say that much.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please tell me,
Sir,
sir.
you told 70 years is the age limit. That age limit is strictly followed or not?
Yes.
Or, tell me, sir.
Yes. In fact, those who are on 70, also most of the time the permit is rejected. So that is why we say better is if you're 69, that's good. And also in terms of passport, one more point for everybody's information. that you should have at least 7 months
Okay.
left before expiry as on the return date of the yatra. So suppose we are returning on 12th June. So from 12th June, your 7 months expiry. So that means it should be up to Jan 31st, 2027. Only then that passport will be accepted. Otherwise, it's better to renew it now. This will happen.
And one more question. The tour is by road, by bus only, total entire tour from Kathmandu and come back.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you so
Arpita ji,
much.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to see you and hear from you after a long time. So, regarding the trekking, I would be interested in that. So, I would want to know that how many months before should we take the doctor certificate? Because if the doctor says no, then there is no point thinking about it. So, what is the minimum months that we should look out for? The medical certificate
So now
before the
when
trip date.
Okay, now when we are accepting bookings, now immediately after this orientation is over, so whoever is part of, some of you are connected with Hyderabad temple, some of you are connected with Bhakti Yatra of Indore group. So whatever be the thing, you can reach out to the devotees and we will send you the medical certificate format as well as the declaration form that you need to sign in. And you will have to deposit a minimum of 1.5 lakh rupees. So for the registration. So, and once you do that and sign the declaration, and then you give us the medical certificate. So then I think that should be through. So there is nothing called number of months before, but for us to accept your booking and confirm the seat, the medical certificate is important as on date.
But Prabhuji, like suppose the medical certificate shows fine, but if we want to travel in July, there is few months of gap, right? So how can you ensure that? How can a doctor ensure that? So wouldn't be it prudent that you have a medical certificate close to the date as well?
So then that will make the what you said logically sounds great, but then how will it work from the organizer's perspective?
No, I understand your perspective, but from our side, to be very confident that yes, we can do the trekking thing, especially if we are traveling solo.
See, there is a saying in English, there is always a slip between the cup and the lip. I think you might have heard of it.
I know.
So the point is, we are not sure of tomorrow, let alone 6 months down the lane. So there is no answer to this particular fear or apprehension, although it is logical and rational. So I do agree. So, but then from the organizer's perspective also, we can't help it because now the same logic will apply 2 months before we are supposed to apply for the permit. So now what if after permit is applied, the health goes bad or something happens? So there is no answer to any of these questions. So we will have to plan and prepare ourselves and pray to the Almighty to make this happen. That's the only answer I can think of.
Okay, so another corollary would be that, there are, organizations like indiahikes.com. So when there is a trekking, they do give us a certain guidelines. So considering that those who are opting for trekking here and at an altitude, so do you have somebody professional to guide you, like how many kilometers should you walk every day and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we will, as I said during the course of the meeting, that once some people are enrolling with us, we will give them some more directions. So those things will be generic in nature. Again, I don't mean I'll be arranging a doctor consultation and he will get into the individual's health system and then guide to that level of professionalism we have not planned. So, but what would be provided for the yatris who are registering with us is a general set of tips and guidelines as to, as I mentioned, it is also important to note that when we are at high altitudes, generally the blood pressure will go up, and we have seen in the past experience that people get angry very fast.
Yeah.
So they get angry over silly things. So, and they don't mean it basically. So, but then that's a biological, whatever thing it happens, biological result. So you can't really physically stop that. So, but we will guide all the yatris as to how that could be kept under check. So the minimum kilometers that they can start walking. So every day, because that 6 kilometers of trek, which is inevitable, even though you're choosing horse, so that 6 kilometer should be practiced well in advance. So, but even then, I would say, see, for those who are not even going for trek and staying back at Darchin, going physically to Manasa Sarovar, taking a bath there, doing the Havan there, having darshan there. So all of this will still make a difference, and the purpose of yatra is still achieved. So I would say, so that's up. So we will give you some basic guidelines, madam. So what kind of pranayama could be done. So, but then the details and practice, maybe I would say in general, the yatris can themselves subscribe to some yoga classes and from breathing exercise, pranayam sessions. So today there are plenty in number available online. So, but in general, guidance will be given, but we will not be giving you a detailed training of exercise and pranayam and how you have to do to that level. We may not go.
Okay, that should be fine. The last question is there are three batches. So, which would be the best one in terms of the view of the Kailash during the trekking or the climate? There are three batches, right? One is in the May, then another is in July, and the last one is in September, if I'm correct.
No, I haven't planned for July or September from Indore as such. I'm not sure if that is pertaining to some other temple because of so many climate and other constraints and many other factors. What I have planned, or what this group, in fact, Hyderabad and Indore temples together, what we have planned this collaborative exercise is only from 31st May to 12th June is what we have planned. So,
Okay.
and what I will be traveling, and Mukunda Charan Prabhu, who had joined us at the beginning, he had to leave for one important meeting, so he's not here. So, but otherwise, this is what we have planned. Land route, there is no guarantee about the second or the third batch. At least I was not aware. So, this is
Okay.
the only batch that I am aware of.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, Malaji.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Can I just ask a question? Because I was a little bit confused. The poster that was sent out from the Golden Temple said 3 trips. One was for the May the 31st. There was another one for July and another one for August. So I'm just asking, is this correct?
Okay, I think maybe the Hyderabad temple has planned for subsequent second and third batches. So I'm not sure of the dates, but if there is communication from the temple, I think I request you to reach out to them. So, and they will be able to address you. But this first batch is what is 100% sure shot batch. And so for the second and the third batches that you have received from the Golden Temple or the Hyderabad temple, you will have to kindly connect with them, and as I am not able to confirm from my end.
Okay, thank you. And then the other question was, with you've mentioned about a check, an oxygen check after darshan. So the oxygen, what is that? Could you just explain what that entails?
So basically, there is an oximeter, especially I think during COVID, we all had that with us. So it's a simple instrument or a device that would be kept with the Tibetan guide. And so that is used for checking your oxygen levels in simple words. So in the layman's language, if they find our oxygen levels to be above 75, so then there is no issue. But anything below 75, I have exactly noted down also when I had this discussion with the guide. So if the oxygen levels are 85 and plus, then he is declared fit for continuing for the yatra. If he's above 75 and 85, he is given permission to continue the parikrama, to start the parikrama, provided the whole other aspects of health are also taken into consideration. And if it is below 75, and even if there are no other diseases or any bodily discomfort, if the oxygen levels are below 75, then he is denied to go to parikrama. So the oxygen levels at that point, as indicated by an oximeter device in the hands of a Tibetan guide, is the deciding factor whether we will be permitted to go for the yatra or not.
Right. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Bipin has to have a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We've missed the initial part about Mansarovar, but are we able to take a dip in the actual lake, or is it by a bucket bath?
No, yeah, it's a bucket pass. You will not
It's
be
a
able
bucket
to
bath.
take a dip in the lake.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So, yeah, we will be sharing the recording of this meeting in the group. So I think the Hyderabad temple will also circulate the recording of this meeting. And so you could refer to it in case if you have missed it, or refer to it in case you have any questions. And we have also given our details. Vajrana Prabhu, do we have also the contact details of the Hyderabad temple, the Golden Temple? There are some yatris who have received this information about the today's meeting from Hyderabad temple. Do we have some information about it? We can post it in the same chat box over here.
Yes, yes. I'll need 1 minute, Prabhu.
Yeah, no, otherwise I think people who have received communication from the Hyderabad temple would have also got the details mentioned it on the poster. So from there you can connect with them. So, and that would, so shall we conclude the meeting, or anybody else has any other questions?
Sir, do we have chance to parikrama Manasa Lake also?
Yes, we have planned for that. Yes, in a bus.
Okay, and also what are the documents do we need to maintain?
For this yatra, I think the passport and the medical fitness certificate, which I said I will be giving it the format to those who register with us. And then apart from that, I think nothing else. I don't see any other requirement as such.
Okay, these are enough.
We will be getting you the visa and the permit and all that is required for the yatra.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Just a clarification. I guess some people might have got a misconception. The oxygen level is the individual's blood saturation oxygen level. It's not the oxygen levels in the environment there. So
Correct.
it's an individual
thing. So which our body is able to acclimatize to that particular altitude. So that's how each individual will have a check. And that will be performed for almost 3 or 4 days during the yatra, especially at the time of going for parikrama. Because up till parikrama, you are traveling mostly by bus. So that shouldn't be a problem. Only those who are going for parikrama, so for them, this check is essential, not otherwise.
Just on the oximeter, is that something with the mouth? It's not like a finger pulse meter. You can put
It's a measurement through the blowing, is it?
Yeah, something like that. I'm definitely sure it's a non-invasive thing. So it is. I think it does not need to even have a prick or something. So it's a very simple device, I think, which would be attached externally to your fingertip or something like that.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I think we're all aware of that one then. Okay. Now, just on the visa thing, to save people from abroad, the NRIs, are we able to apply for a visa directly ourselves beforehand instead of having to come there?
Yeah, you could do that. So as I mentioned during the course of the meeting, if you are able to secure mainland China visa for yourselves even before the yatra, so then you're good to join us even on the day of the 31st May, the first day of the yatra. You don't have to come well in advance. So that's option 1 for the NRIs, especially American citizens. The option 2 is if you find it difficult to secure the China visa by yourself, or if you find no time for doing it, or if you find it a Herculean task to do all of that stuff, so then you may have to come down to Kathmandu about 5 days prior to the yatra date. Instead of 31st May, you will have to come on 25th or 26th of May, so that the day you come, the first day, we will arrange a visit for you to visit the passport office there and then do the visa formalities. Visa office there and complete the formalities. And next 3-4 days you will have to spend there in Kathmandu and then join us on the 31st, because they need about 4 days time for processing the permit and the visa. So in case you do not have as an American citizen and you don't own a Indian passport and other things, so then you'll have to come 5 days before, or otherwise, as I said, option 1 is you can apply for the China visa for yourself and then come on the same day. Does that answer your question?
Are you able to help us on that if we have any difficulties? I presume we have to mention that we join the particular.
So thank you all for joining us, and we request you to, if you are interested to join us, let us know at the earliest, so that we can confirm your seats and do the procedure of sending you the declaration form and the medical fitness form. So, and once you are done with that, then you can make the payment donation to the details that we will be sending you, and then only we will be able to confirm the seat for you. So if you can do it at the earliest, that would be appreciated, because we also need to plan many things from our end. And so, okay. Thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna.